Skipper. Who's Michael Skipper? And who's that other guy?
All right. Ready? Okay, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, January 19th, and it's 9 a.m., and we're here for Marion County Board of Commissioners board session in the Senator Hearing Room at 555 Court Street, Northeast in Salem. And as Commissioner Cameron says, as always, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It does feel good to say that. And today we said it with like some gusto. So we don't have any public comment today, but before we move on to the rest of our agenda item, I'm wondering if the commissioners would entertain an addition to the agenda to honor somebody that's present with us today.
Absolutely. A presentation?
Yes, a presentation by us, actually.
Oh, cool.
So, as most know, I think everybody, I've only been a commissioner for a year. And I've said often that I really had no idea what it was to be a commissioner or really what the work of the county does. And last year, Jan helped us honor our employees for all of the work that they've done over the last 2 years. And I think that nothing as successful as this county can be done unless it has really good leadership. And we have really good leaders in Marion County. All of our department heads are stellar, they communicate, they're present. But I think there's one particular leader that really stands out among all of us, even us commissioners, and that's you, Jan. So last summer, when we were honoring employees, I asked the commissioners if they would be willing to partner with me on a gift for you. And they said yes. And so we're going to do that. And I'm actually going to pull it out from below here because I think you're so timeless. Through the efforts of Chris Epley and Matt Lawyer, we had this made for you. It's a shape of Marion County. It's a clock. And it has the representation of all three of the declared disasters of 2020 and 2021. And there's a plaque on it that says, "For your unwavering leadership under extraordinary conditions, your dedication to the people of Marion County is second to none, and we are grateful for you." Oh my God.
HP wants to come down.
I drag him down here. We're going to do pictures. Are you surprised? Oh, good. Oh my gosh. I'm going to let go of it. Okay.
Okay, count of 3, 1,
3.
2.
HP, you always do this right. 1, 2.
Wow. Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. And Matt.
Is that 3 fingers when they go down or what?
Nobody's smiling.
So funny. Thank you so much. Well, I imagine both.
Amazing employees who have spent 2 years.
There's a microphone that I turned on because I wanted everyone to hear you in the event that you had something to say.
I just want to say thank you so much. I'm honored, but, you know, employees have spent 2 years through COVID, wildfires, ice storms, heat, every emergency I think we've had since I've been here, and I've been over 2 decades. So it's all combined into the last 2 years. Like you said, the directors, the elected officials, the leadership from the top, and our employees. We had employees from every single department work on the emergencies for Marion County and the constituents. And I truly believe they believe in the work like I do and really love this county. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Commissioners, did either of you want to add anything?
Well, I think I did last week. We all gave some input, and Jan, thank you for your service. And you're just this level, steady beacon that keeps us all going the right direction and takes all these different ideas and helps us coalesce and bring it all together. I was sitting here, I don't know what, yesterday or the night before, I was dreaming about your job, and I was thinking in all.
I have nightmares.
I
I have nightmares about her job.
I was thinking in all of my years in food service, and I was a regional training manager where I oversaw like 14 districts in Southern California, and these districts each had like 6 or 7, 8 restaurants. And then I was an operations guy where I oversaw 7 to 10 operations, and I was thinking, we have, 16 departments?
Yes.
16 departments that all report directly up to you. And the only way that happens is because we have good people in those departments, and your ability to, the feedback of the way you allow people to, you don't micromanage, but or your accountability and all those things. And just this last 2 years, as we all have experienced in the last year, that you're here. I'm so thankful you're here to bring energy to, because this explains it. I was going down my elevator in my apartment just a little while ago, and this lady was in the elevator, and she says, I have COVID fatigue. And I go, yeah, a lot of people do, but just the energy to keep this thing going. And I want to thank you so much for your leadership.
Yeah, we've talked before, and I've told you how grateful I am for your work. But I think before I became a commissioner, I didn't quite understand how much all these institutions, our government, really rely on people. It's really individuals making decisions, and they're either good decisions or they're bad decisions. And a lot of times, when you're in that moment, you're sort of doing the best you can, and you don't know. And something that I've just come to admire about you, Jan, is your judgment. I think you're somebody who has just an amazing ability to be in times of uncertainty and to just make good, sound judgment that stands the test of time. That you look back and at least for me, I look back and I'm like, man, thank God we had Jan, because this, in those moments the system breaks down. There's no structure to solve the problems, and so you either have leaders who have good judgment and make good decisions, and we all benefit from it, or you have leaders that don't, and we all suffer as a result. And I think we've actually experienced both of those things in Marion County. That some of our leaders, maybe nationally or other places at the state level, haven't showed up, haven't made the right decisions, and that doesn't mean that they're necessarily bad people. It just means that maybe when that time came, they weren't up to it. But we've also had you here, and when I think about like that night of the fire, if you don't make that call and you don't open that fairgrounds, there's over 1,000 people that are stranded, hurt, burnt, hungry, tired, and they don't have any place to go. And so, and that's just one example, but I've seen it a number of other times where I just say, man, she really has good judgment. And I've also come to realize how rare that is. how all of us hope to be people of good judgment, but that's not always the case. So thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for letting us do this today. So with that, we'll carry on with the agenda. Let's move on to the consent calendar. And Commissioner Cameron, would you mind reading the consent calendar?
Oh, I'd
long one.
love
It's
to.
a long one
I'd love
today.
to. This is, hopefully next week it'll be like that. Right? All right, Madam Chair, I will move the consent calendar under the tax office approving order for property tax refund in the amount of $26,804.84 for Arleta Properties LLC.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. We'll move on to action item number 1. Under Board of Commissioners, consider approval of the 2022 federal agenda. Tanisha's joining us this morning along with our federal lobbyists Kirby Garrett and Michael Skipper. Go ahead and pull the microphone close to you so we can hear you clearly.
Perfect. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Tanisha Bush, and I am the Government Relations Manager for Marion County. Today, we are presenting the 2022 federal agenda for board approval. The federal agenda includes policy and grant initiatives beneficial to the county and its community partners. With me virtually are Kirby Garrett and Michael Skipper with CFM Advocates. Marion County has used CFM Advocates for several years. CFM has helped Marion County develop their federal agenda, and they will represent Marion County in Washington, D.C. And I'll hand it over to them.
All right, thank you, Tanisha. And good morning, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Michael Skipper with CFM Advocates. It's great to see you all, and thank you for accommodating us virtually again this year. We'd, of course, love to be there in person, but this just ended up making more sense again this year. As Tanisha mentioned, we're here to present to you the county's 2022 federal agenda for your approval. Your federal agenda is essentially what shapes CFM's efforts on your behalf back in DC. It outlines the county's range of federal interests and priorities, from projects you're seeking federal funding for to the county's positions on legislation or administrative policy. And we think the county is in a great position to build on its success from 2021, and we're eager to get to work. I do want to quickly reiterate what's already been said about your team and Jan here, and acknowledge that your staff, as always, has been incredibly helpful in pulling together this year's agenda. We try our best to do as much of the heavy lifting as we can, but their input and subject matter expertise is really indispensable, and we appreciate how generous they always are with their limited time. I also want to point out that we're going to try and go through this very quickly. You're familiar with most of what we're going to talk about today. We've already discussed your agenda in great detail, so we don't want to take out any more of your time this morning than necessary. So we can go to the next slide. This is an outline of what we'll be covering. We will touch on CFM and Marion County's record of success together, with a particular focus on what we accomplished in 2021. Then we'll provide a high-level overview of the bipartisan infrastructure package that was signed into law last year, which we think will provide a lot of opportunities for Marion County over the next few years. We'll go over the 2022 federal agenda, and finally, we'll give you an overview of the political landscape in DC and some of the notable things we expect to see in 2022. So in terms of our history of success, CFM and Marion County have enjoyed a long, successful partnership over the years. We've accomplished a wide variety of legislative and policy victories, but one particular measure of success we do like to use is the federal funding we've been able to secure for Marion County's projects. I'm not going to go through these, and this list is not comprehensive, but as you can see, we've helped secure over $27 million in competitive federal funding since 2007. This funding has helped to implement a wide variety of critical public safety, mental health, transportation projects throughout Marion County, and it's a record we're really proud of. So I'll hand it over to Kirby to talk about some of the more recent successes.
Yeah, well, thank you, Michael, for getting us started, and thank you, Commissioners, for the opportunity to be with you, at least virtually today. So we are really excited about the progress that we were able to make this past year in 2021 and the wins we were able to secure for Marion County. So we just wanted to provide a quick update and recap of the past year. So as you'll see here on the top of the slide, we have in the FY 2022 appropriations legislation that Congress is currently considering. We were able to secure funding for 3 separate projects totaling over $4.5 million for Marion County. So as a reminder, this new opportunity for direct appropriations became available at the start of last year. We worked with the county to identify, the available pots of money, outline the projects that would be eligible and competitive. And so we ended up working with your staff, submitted 4 projects from Marion County to Congressman Schrader and the senators as part of their project solicitation process that they set up for the state. From there, members of Congress, submit these projects to the Appropriations Committee. Then they work with the committee to get these included in their respective chamber, either the House or the Senate's bills. So both chambers have drafted their bills, but in December, Congress wasn't able to finalize these. They ended up punting and passing a short-term continuing resolution to extend government spending to February 18th to give them more time to finalize this and negotiate a full year worth of funding. So they are doing that right now. Remember, anything they pass must get approval from at least 60 votes, filibuster-proof majority in the Senate. So these projects aren't final yet, but they're in the current bill. So on the House side, just to recap the process, 2 members of the House of Representatives were only able to submit 10 projects last year to the Appropriations Committee for consideration. Congressman Schrader, out of the 10 projects he put forward, 3 of them were ours. On the Senate side, the senators put forward all 4 of our projects. So, you know, just for context, getting members to even submit these projects to the Appropriations Committee is a pretty huge step, but getting a project funded is a huge win. So to get 3 separate projects funded here is just really, really exciting, and definitely a testament to the great projects that we were able to assemble together, again, working with your great staff and your guys' leadership on the board. So Marion County is the only entity we have seen get 3 separate projects funded this year. There might be one out there, but that's something we're really proud of, that you guys are the only ones to be faring so well in this year of appropriations. So ultimately, what's in there, we've got $1.4 million in funding for the North Fork road improvements. This is, you know, kiosks, resurfacing, signage, et cetera. So this project was included in both the House and the Senate's bills. $1.4 million will probably be the final amount. There's a possibility that provisions could be additive on the House and Senate side to double up to 2.9. Most likely it'll stay at 1.4 though, in whatever final legislation they negotiate. I should also note that on the Senate side, from this account, the highway improvement program that we pursued, there were only 3 projects funded statewide. So this is an especially great win given how competitive that program was. So second, our request of $1.2 million for new digital public safety radio equipment was included in the House bill. That was a Congressman Schrader submission. And then finally, $2 million was funded in the Senate's bill for Opal Creek Wilderness. So this one was actually a state of Oregon request that was submitted after being approached by and asked by Senator Merkley, who was looking to help on this issue. As you all are very well aware, the Opal Creek Wilderness legislation was passed back in the day with a promise of $15 million that never came through. And together, you know, we've been telling that story to the delegation now for over 10 years about you know, the need for that funding to come through, but there just hasn't been a mechanism to provide it. So this is just really neat to finally see that come to fruition, but we are not quite done yet on that. And I'll let Michael address that in the ensuing slides on the federal agenda. But anyways, all of that totals $4.6 million that we have in the bill right now. So assuming Congress is able to find a compromise on a final bill, there's a off chance that they pass a year-long continuing resolution, which would be worst case scenario for us. But they're talking right now. We're optimistic they'll be able to find a compromise. And if they do, all of these projects are all set to be included in that. As you can see below that, you know, the senators also submitted to the Appropriations Committee our other projects. Ultimately, the committee didn't select these. Why was that? Aside from the fact that we had 3 other awards for the county in there, it seems like the Detroit Marina project wasn't selected because of some of the outstanding permit and review issues that still need to be addressed. And then the Safety Corridor project was only eligible to compete for the same pot of money that the North Fork Road project was going after, which, as I mentioned, was extremely competitive. But even then, we had these advanced for consideration, which is a great step towards working on these in the future. We also worked hard to submit projects as part of the House infrastructure bill as well. If you'll remember last year, before the Senate developed their bipartisan legislation, which ultimately became law, the House was actually leading the charge, and they included an opportunity for congressionally directed projects as well. So we submitted the North Fork Road and Silverton Howell Prairie intersection project. We also worked with ODOT to submit the Donald Aurora Interchange project, which they submitted. So overall, Congressman Schrader submitted those 3 projects, and ultimately $20 million was included for Donald Aurora Interchange. Unfortunately, as you know, Congress went a different direction. They ended up moving on the Senate's bill and not the House's. But we were, you know, in line and set up to be successful there had Congress just gone a different direction. Lastly, just real quick, if you'll recall, all the way back to March of last year, Congress worked to pass the American Rescue Plan Act. This bill included a priority which we and other counties have been advocating for, direct flexible spending relief. Marion County received nearly $68 million from that ARPA state and local relief fund. The bill also included new funding for SRS and PILT counties, not technically SRS and PILT because they had to just procedurally use a different funding mechanism. That's in large part thanks to our senators, especially Senator Wyden. Treasury is still working to implement that guidance and set up that program, but ultimately this is going to provide more funding for Marion County. Lastly, the infrastructure bill provided an additional 2 years of actual SRS funding, which should total about $2.3 million for Marion County. This is for fiscal years 2021 and 2022. So the county should receive your FY21 payments here shortly, probably in April. All in all, very exciting year for Marion County at the federal level. And of course, we'll be keeping you posted as work continues on the appropriations process, and hopefully things become final here.
Kirby, before you move on, Commissioner Willis has a question.
Hey, Kirby,
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a question about that comment you made about a continuing resolution. So if they don't pass a budget and they just pass a continuing resolution, then these projects would not be included in that. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
And then if leadership in Congress changes, then this might be moot if that happens. Correct?
So the current fiscal year that they're working on appropriations for ends at the end of this September. So this current Congress is in charge of passing legislation to provide, appropriations bill for the current fiscal year. So the elections this year will not have an impact on the bills that they pass for this current fiscal year. But you're correct. If they're unable to reach an agreement on a year-long new appropriations bill, it would just be a continuing resolution extending existing funding levels, and that would not include anything new, such as these congressionally directed spending provisions.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, you bet. Okay, so shifting gears
Kirby?
here.
Sorry,
Yep.
we're going to interrupt again. Commissioner Cameron has a question.
Yeah, just to follow up then, so that top line is not done yet.
Yes, correct. This is all, I'm sorry, I should have emphasized that. This is why we have it in orange. It's still tentative, not final yet. So we're hopeful that so February 18th is the current deadline, at which point current federal funding would expire. So they have to do something by then. There's a good chance they'll pass another week or 2 week extension to give them, a little bit more time to hammer out a final agreement. But we should know, have a good picture of how things are looking by the end of next month.
Thank you. Thank you,
You
Madam
bet.
Chair.
But I'll also note, discussions on this have been ramping up after being pretty quiet over the past couple months. So, I think we're feeling pretty optimistic based on how those discussions have been going with Republicans and Democrats, House and Senate leaders, that they are going to be able to reach an agreement. So fingers crossed, but we'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
Of course. So shifting gears here, as you may have heard, Congress did pass a bipartisan infrastructure bill at the end of last year, finally. It overall includes about $550 billion in new spending over the next 5 years. Over half of that's going to be directed towards transportation, so that receives the lion's share of funding, but you'll see there's other sectors of infrastructure that receive pretty robust funding as well, energy, broadband, et cetera. So this is going to provide a lot of opportunities for Marion County. There's new competitive grant programs as well as formula dollars that'll come through to the state. So as we shift to talking about the federal agenda here, just in a couple minutes, just keep in mind that we're also working to identify opportunities in this bill for other projects. And this is something we're already doing, but is also going to be an ongoing process as DOT ramps up the implementation of this, starts giving us details on what these programs look like. And again, this is 5 years worth of funding, so we don't have to go after everything in 1 year, but certainly we'll be looking to seize on as much of this as possible. So what's actually in this thing that is of interest to the county? Well, we could spend an entire day going over everything in this bill. As much as I'm sure you would love for me to do that, I will keep things short and just point out a few of the relevant programs. It's interesting too, just to point out that bill has a lot of formula, a lot of competitive dollars. Most of it's still going to flow through formula programs as it has historically, but relatively it represents a pretty significant shift towards competitive grant programs. So our guy, Secretary Buttigieg, is going to have his hands full of a lot of money to hand out through these direct competitive grant programs. That includes a lot of existing programs that were already in existence that are just going to have more money, but also brand new programs as well. So, for example, there's a lot more money for the Infra Grant Program as well as the RAISE Grant Program, which was previously named Tiger or Build. That's what we tapped for the Mill City Bridge Project. This is these are programs that we have looked at for the Aurora Donald Interchange too. So this is something we can revisit, talking with ODOT on that project going forward. Likewise, there's a brand new program called the Rural Surface Transportation Program, very similar to RAISE and Infra, but eligibility is restricted only to rural projects above 25 million. So that could be a really great project for us. They're a really great program for us to look at. Besides that, there's going to be a lot more money available through the state's competitive transportation alternatives program, a lot more money for bridge replacement, which I know, talking to Brian Nicholas, there's a huge need for that across the county. There's also a Safe Streets program, which we could look at for the Safety Corridor project. All in all, just a number of opportunities here. And then just real quick, I mentioned the increase in formula dollars. So just to give you a picture, this is, there's a 30% increase in highway funding for ODOT. So that means more STBG dollars, more available in CMAQ, other programs like that Marion County accesses through the state. There is significantly more funding for water infrastructure, water and wastewater infrastructure, a 46% increase. And that also, so this money is going to be going to the state revolving fund for drinking water and then the state's clean water state revolving fund. So typically those programs provide loan financing, but the infrastructure bill requires that 49% of this funding goes towards forgivable loans, essentially grants. So this is definitely going to be something we're looking at as part of our approach for, the phase 1 of the Canyon Sewer project. There's also $45 billion for broadband, separated into both existing and new pots of money. Some of that will be available through the state, and other money will be available directly from USDA. So we'll be looking at that for the broadband project you guys are currently working to put together up in the canyon. So just to wrap up discussion on that real quick, there's a lot of opportunity here for Marion County. We don't have to pursue everything right away, like I mentioned, but are actively working to assess these and making sure we seize on the opportunities to bring as much of your hard-earned and paid federal tax dollars back there to Marion County. So with that, I will pass things over to Michael to start diving into the federal agenda.
Kirby, before you do that, Commissioner Willis has a question.
Yep.
Kirby, what is the Safe Streets for All grant program that has $5 billion allocated to it?
Yeah, so this is a brand new competitive grant program that the infrastructure bill included funding for. So there's going to be about $1 billion per year, an emphasis on safety projects, safety transportation projects that would reduce the number of collisions, help protect bicycles, bicycle and pedestrian traffic, that type of thing. So there's not a whole lot of detail in the legislation. So a lot of this, we're kind of waiting to see how DOT, drafts up the program, what type of criteria they develop, and some of the other bounds for projects that are eligible. But, the first one that came to mind for us is the Safety Corridor project that you all have been focusing on. But that's definitely going to be an interesting one to watch and see what other projects might be of interest to you guys.
Great, thank you.
Of course. Any other questions on infrastructure package stuff?
No, sir. Carry on. Thank you.
All right. So it brings us to your 2022 federal agenda. We like to separate the agenda into two sections, your planned funding request and then your policy and legislative priorities. So starting with your funding request, this year, the North Santiam Canyon and its remaining infrastructure needs is again a top priority for the county at the federal level. As Kirby mentioned, the Opal Creek Economic Development Plan has renewed life with the return of congressionally directed spending. So we'll be supporting efforts by the state of Oregon to secure that long overdue funding through the appropriations process and implement those economic development projects up there. But we'll also be pursuing separately this list of projects here. We'll be seeking $5 million to complete the first phase of wastewater infrastructure improvements in Mill City and Gates. As you all well know, the state of Oregon has already committed $50 million in total, but $40 million to this phase of the project. But a $5 million funding gap remains that we're hoping to fill with a combination of congressionally appropriated and competitive federal grant funding, namely the USDA Rural Water and Wastewater Grant and Loan Program. The Santiam Canyon housing recovery. Housing is obviously still a tremendous need following the 2020 wildfires. Marion County has helped lead and coordinate the recovery efforts from the start and is committed to seeing it through to ensure everyone gets the help they need. Fortunately, the federal government has already allocated a significant amount of CDBG disaster relief funding for the area, but that has to go through a process that can be lengthy before it's distributed. So as that kind of process plays out, we'll be monitoring it, but we'll also be kind of looking under every rock we can to see if there's some additional funding or assistance we can track down for the residents up there to help them rebuild. Broadband deployment, which Kirby mentioned, received additional funding in the infrastructure package. The lack of broadband infrastructure in the canyon has long been an impediment to economic development up there. Rural broadband infrastructure, fortunately, has been a big focus of the President Trump administration and the Biden administration, as well as Congress for the past few years. They've appropriated a lot more funding than has ever existed for rural broadband. So when Marion County is ready, when that project's all put together, we're planning to pursue some of those federal funding streams for broadband deployment up in the canyon. The Detroit Lake Marina excavation, as you know, area businesses depend on a full recreation season at Detroit Lake to maintain solvency year round, but that's not possible when Detroit Lake fails to reach the necessary seasonal depth. So Marion County has been leading this effort to secure funding for strategic excavation to mitigate that seasonal economic risk and extend the boat recreation season at Detroit Lake. As you know, that's a particularly complicated project, so I know your team's still working through that on their end, but we're going to try our best to secure some federal funding for it on our end when it's ready to go. The North Fork Road improvements and the public safety radio system, those are two projects Kirby mentioned earlier that are pending in the appropriations process and within the federal lands access program. Hopefully we'll have some news on both of those in the next month or so as Congress hopefully wraps up appropriations, and we expect the federal lands access program to announce at least their short list of intended projects here in the next month or so. And then outside of the canyon, there are 3 transportation projects we think are very important and will be competitive grant and CDS requests. So with Wintle Road, the county actually has another pending $3.7 million flap request for this project, the same program as the North Fork Road improvements. The primary purpose of this project is to improve the transportation infrastructure through the National Wildlife Refuge, which is in poor condition and at risk of becoming unusable, particularly the bridge up there is nearing the end of its useful life. So again, we should hear about that in the next few months. We've been working with the congressional delegation to secure letters of support for that project and some additional outreach to the Federal Highways Administration to reiterate their support. So hopefully we get some good news there. The Safety Corridor project is something we had on the agenda last year and we'll again be requesting $3 million for this year, either through the CDS process or as we were just talking about through some of the new competitive grant programs that were created by the infrastructure package. This is a high priority safety corridor due to the high crash rates, and federal funds would be used to complete kind of a wide array of safety improvements throughout the corridor to reduce the likelihood of those high speed crashes you see pretty regularly out there. And then finally, the Aurora Donald Interchange. We were really excited last year. We made tremendous progress in getting $20 million for that project in the House passed version of the infrastructure bill. Unfortunately, the Senate decided to strip individual projects from the final package, so it wasn't included. We believe ODOT is moving forward with the phased approach now, but there's still that huge funding gap remaining, so we want to continue to highlight that with the congressional delegation and the Department of Transportation to try and secure funding for the complete project.
Okay. There we go. Sorry. So now we shift away from the projects, the funding requests that the county has on the federal agenda, to your policy priorities that we like to state and outline for the delegation. So number one on here, we've added flexibility for the ARPA funding that I mentioned earlier that the county received. The intent of that obviously was to provide you flexible relief to use for pandemic recovery, economic recovery, and give that to projects that need it the most throughout the county. Unfortunately, it came with some more restrictions than we were hoping for. So there's legislation introduced in Congress that the Senate has passed that is still sitting in the House that would grant a lot of that flexibility. So we have been advocating for that. You commissioners sent a letter to Congressman Schrader expressing support for that. We worked with his office to get him signed on to the bill as a co-sponsor, but unfortunately it still hasn't moved despite a pretty strong showing of support from House membership. So we'll keep advocating for that, but we were excited to see the final rule that Treasury put out incorporated some elements of that legislation to provide more flexibility. So we'll also be working with you guys to identify, where the need really is at this point, and make sure we, if we're advocating for that, it's still something that is still needed for the county's benefit.
Hey, Kirby, this is Commissioner Willis. Could you talk a little bit about what was included in that final rule?
Yeah, so the
More
biggest thing
flexibility.
that was included in that final rule, the biggest change was allowing recipients of ARPA funding to take up to $10 million of funding and, not have to use the Treasury formula calculator at all when assessing their government services, the amount that can be used for government services. So basically, any recipient can use up to $10 million for government services, which is the most broad, flexible category of use that Treasury allows. So obviously, the kind of great problem that Marion County has is you guys received well above $10 million. So that still leaves, $58 million that you have to figure out another way to appropriate that funding under a different category. So that was the biggest change under the final rule. There's kind of some more lower level detailed stuff, but that was the biggest shift in that guidance.
And that means that we could use that for like roads or sidewalks, is that right? Whereas before it wasn't clear that we could, absent a connection to broadband.
Yeah, and there was a pretty restrictive bureaucratic formula that you had to use to calculate your revenue loss that could be used for government services. This just says, let's keep things simpler. You can just use up to 10% of, or up to 10 million of your ARPA funding for government services, exactly like you said, roads, personnel, staffing, that type of thing. It's very, very flexible under that category of spending.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you.
Of course. So after that, again, won't go into detail on all of these since, commissioners know you're all familiar with these, but continue to advocate for the Aurora Airport runway expansion and the airport in general. The Detroit Fish Passage, making sure that moves forward in a way that is conducive to the county and the tourism economy, recreation economy up there in the canyon. Continuing to advocate for secure rural schools reauthorization. Like I mentioned earlier, fortunately I've been successful on that here in the past few years, but then of course still advocating for actual forest management, responsible, sustainable solutions for the ONC lands, but also the other federal forest lands in the county, and then funding for opioid and methamphetamine issues to ensure that the county is equipped with the resources you need to address those issues locally. And then lastly here, final policy items are repeal of the inmate and juvenile corrections exception for federal health benefits. This is a federal rule that puts the county on the hook for a lot of healthcare funding for inmates when they're in the jail. And so this is an issue, we've finally seen some progress on in Congress. There was actually legislation introduced in the past couple of years. It hasn't moved forward yet, but for it to actually be receiving that type of attention in Congress is a good step forward. So we'll be continuing to advocate for that. Below that, continuing to support funding for the federal programs that are important to the county, And then waste to energy, recognition as clean energy. This is actually an item that we worked on quite a bit last year as the Build Back Better reconciliation bill was moving forward in the House. The Democrats' bill had some provisions in there that would have been very harmful to waste to energy facilities like the Covanta facility up in Brooks. And so we were advocating, for removal of that provision, work with Congressman Schrader, who to kind of equip him with some information on this. The bill was going through his committee that he sits on, the Energy and Commerce Committee, and he was able to give speeches outlining the impact of this legislation on a facility like yours, and stating his opposition to that. And then lastly, wild and scenic river designations, just looking at pending legislation out there and advocating against any harmful designations, any unintended consequences of rivers like the Sandy Am or others that are, of course, important to the recreation economy, but also the natural resources, energy, et cetera, that are so important for the economy up there in the canyon and the rest of the county. So with that, I'll wrap things up on the federal agenda. Of course, please chime in with any questions, but I'll otherwise pass it over to Michael to talk about what the year looks like ahead.
Yeah, so just a quick kind of political update. So since the passage of the bipartisan infrastructure package last fall, most congressional Democrats have prioritized passing President Biden's multi-trillion-dollar Build Back Better social and climate spending package. But at least that original version of the bill was squashed just before the holidays when West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin pulled out of negotiations and announced that he cannot support key provisions of that bill. And that, as a reminder, Democrats are trying to pass this legislation through the budget reconciliation process. Without getting too into the weeds, budget reconciliation is a way to essentially sidestep the 60-vote threshold for legislation that exists in the Senate. It can typically only be used once per year and requires just 51 votes, meaning every one of the 50 Senate Democrats will need to support something, and then Vice President Harris would cast the tie-breaking 51st vote. So without Manchin, that version of Build Back Better is dead, but many Democrats are hopeful they can still pass some version of the bill, or at least some components of the bill, since Senator Manchin was on board with most of it and appears willing to restart negotiations on a smaller, more limited package. Now, that all happened before the holidays. Most people would have anticipated Congress would return and focus on crafting that new, smaller Build Back Better package after it returned from the holidays, but Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, as you might have heard, has actually shifted the focus of the Senate to voting rights legislation, which he's trying to use as a vehicle to make changes to the filibuster to allow more legislation to pass with just 51 votes. It's happening this evening. In fact, they're having votes on it, but the effort is going to fail unless something crazy happens. At least 2 Democratic senators, including Joe Manchin, have reiterated time and time again that they do not support making changes to the filibuster rules, particularly on a partisan basis. So after that fails, the Senate will go on recess for a week again. And when they return, I anticipate they'll likely shift their focus back to some component of Build Back Better, but they'll also be facing a tight deadline on FY22 appropriations. Kirby talked about this a little bit. FY 2022 appropriations, we're currently under a continuing resolution that expires February 18th. We're cautiously optimistic an agreement can be reached, but there remains 2 kind of main impediments that are holding up negotiations right now. One is Democrats in the House and Senate and in their draft appropriations legislation have proposed much higher increases for domestic and foreign aid spending than defense spending. So Republicans are demanding that any increase in domestic and foreign aid spending be matched with equal increases in defense spending. The other thing is Democratic appropriators have removed several long-standing policy provisions that barred federal funding for abortions in their draft appropriations bills. This is a non-starter for most Republicans, and they're kind of demanding that Democrats restore this language before any negotiations take place. Like Kirby said, we are hearing there's been some progress made behind the scenes between top appropriators on these issues, so we're optimistic. But there might be the need for another short-term continuing resolution to allow them to work out all the details. And then continuing on appropriations, while we haven't finished work on FY22, FY23 will be here before we know it, and Congress will soon start soliciting CDS submissions that typically requests are due in March or April, and that's why we work with your team as early as possible to finalize what we're going to submit and work with the congressional delegation to familiarize them with your projects well before the deadline for submission. This is something Kirby talked about too, the infrastructure package rollout. The infrastructure bill includes 5 years worth of funding, and it creates dozens of new grant programs at the federal level that agency staff are creating mostly from scratch. So it's going to take them some time to get these programs out the door, come up with the different requirements, the scoring criteria for each program. So we expect programs to start rolling out throughout the year, probably in the next few months, and we'll be monitoring those before they come out and as they come out to work with your team to figure out if they align with any of Marion County's projects or priorities. And then COVID curveballs, nobody knows, particularly us, what's going to happen with COVID this year. On the legislative front, there's already folks advocating for more COVID relief funding for restaurants, bars, and other impacted industries. But right now, there's not a whole lot of appetite in either party to approve more relief funding. That can always change. The pandemic could change. We'll see. But we're trying to expect the unexpected. And then finally, we are in an election year. And while I don't make any predictions anymore, the widespread consensus is that Republicans are favored to win back majority of the House and Senate in November. But a lot can change in 10 months. It's practically a lifetime in election cycle. So we'll see what happens. But regardless of which party takes control, though, the Oregon delegation is going to look a little different come 2023. Senator Ron Wyden is running for re-election, but the House races in Oregon will be interesting to watch. For the first time in Oregon history, you will have 6 members of the U.S. House of Representatives with the newly created 6th congressional district, which obviously includes a large portion of Marion County. And also the 4th district in Southwest Oregon will be represented by someone new for the first time in 36 years following the planned retirement of Congressman Peter DeFazio. So there's going to be some new faces. The races are just kind of getting started. We'll see. It's kind of too early to tell who's leading the pack in each primary, but it's exciting to watch, and we'll see what happens. And then with that, we'll turn it over to any questions you may have. In closing, I do just want to reiterate how much we enjoy working with the board, your staff, and representing your priorities at the federal level. We're grateful for the opportunity to continue another year, and we'll be working hard on your behalf in the coming months to hopefully see some of these priorities come to fruition.
Thank you, Michael and Kirby. Is there any questions, commissioners?
I got my questions in.
Okay,
during the
Commissioner
presentation.
Cameron?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just thank you very much for the presentation and the work that you've done over the years, and we'll look forward to some good results this next year. So thank you. Look forward to coming back and seeing you. You won't come out here and see me, so.
We're looking forward to it as well.
Thank you. Have a great day. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Looks like we got
Oh,
somebody who wants to
sir,
come.
we're not ready for public comment yet. If you would like to sign up, we can have that done, and then at the end of our agenda, Brenda will meet you over there.
We could, you want unanimous consent to return to public comment?
I kind of want to do it at the end.
Okay, right.
Yep.
Why don't
Thank
we,
you.
do you want to finish this and then our next item could be his public, why don't we, are we voting on this?
Yeah,
Because I would assume that he's,
Okay.
okay. Where'd my agenda go? Oh, I got it.
are we voting to approve the federal?
We
agenda?
are.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Just 1 second. I want Commissioner Cameron to get. Okay, we're ready? I'll take a motion.
All right, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the 2022 federal agenda. Madam Chair, excuse me.
Yeah, I thought I'd heard that.
Well,
Okay.
you know, I'm just so used to you being in the middle seat here.
Madam Chair,
I gotta get used to the
I'll
new.
second the motion, Madam Chair.
Great. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Thank you, Tanisha.
Thanks, Kirby. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to move on to action item number 2 under Health and Human Services to consider approval of amendment number 2 to the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority to add $10,866,279.32 for a new contract total of $14,122,893.32 for the operation of public health services through June 30th, 2023. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ryan Matthews, I'm the Administrator with the Marion County Health and Human Services Department. And I am here seeking approval of Amendment 2 with our intergovernmental agreement with Oregon Health Authority in the amount of $10,866,279.32. So this is, it looks like a lot of new money. I want to sort of explain where it came from, because it's not necessarily new or it's not necessarily unexpected. So if we look at the funding that's in this agreement, there are two program elements in which we had initially in our first contract only received funding for the first quarter of the fiscal year. And so we are receiving now the last 3 quarters of funding for the state general fund support for public health, which is about $310,000 for the final 3 quarters of the year. And then we're receiving our public health modernization funding, which at the time of the initial budget from Oregon Health Authority, the public health modernization funding was not known, and that is our PE 51 funding. For the local effort, we're going to receive $1,065,267. And then we also receive money for our regional partnership with Polk County, which is about $500,000. So those 3 funding elements are basically additional, the continuation of funding through the remainder of the fiscal year. The largest increase in funding as part of this amendment is actually carryover of unspent funds from last contract period related to COVID-19 funding. So these would be funds that we would have received in a prior amendment and approved, but we just didn't happen to spend them, so now they are rolling them over into our new contract period. This would be PEO 107 and PEO 109. You'll notice that they are designated as ELC, which stands for Epidemiology and Laboratory Capacity. So these funds were actually a Oregon Health Authority grant application to the CDC prior to COVID. They go back even before the pandemic. The state of Oregon received a CDC grant. And really the intention behind this grant was to push forward, public health modernization concepts and really improve the infrastructure of our public health systems. But what happened was obviously a pandemic hit statewide, nationwide, worldwide, and the funding was pushed out early to local public health authorities. So rather than sort of do an annual budget and do an annual release of these funds, they were all pushed out to all local public health authorities across the state, basically saying that even though these funds remain through 2024, we wanted to make sure local governments had enough funding to maintain COVID operations if they needed to, if it was a cash flow situation. It has not turned out to be needed for us. We have other funds that we've been able to identify for our COVID-19 operations. So we're continuing to kind of set these aside until we are ready to move forward with a different set of goals and initiatives. Since these funds don't expire until the end of 2024, in a perfect world, this $1.9 million and this $5.5 million for those 2 specific program elements would not be utilized until we're able to shift completely away from our COVID-19 efforts and move to something else. So there's a very good possibility that in the next contract period, we'll see a rollover of unspent funds similarly coming across our contract. The other amount of carryover funds is PEO 110, which is about $1.4 million. And these, again, were unspent funds that were available last year for our COVID-19 operations. These are funds we do anticipate spending this year. We do still have a lot of work ahead of us from our team, whether it is building testing capacity in our community, continuing to educate and inform about the benefits of the COVID-19 vaccine, and just to have resources available in our community for people that are impacted by COVID-19. So this pool of funds will be able to continue our operation for as long as it's needed. And they do expire at the end of this fiscal year, so these are funds that our goal would be to spend and to utilize and to bring into our community, whether it's on our own efforts or pushing out through our partners and CBOs, and just making sure that we have enough capacity in our community to respond to the needs. I think that all this funding really is indicative of something that's really never happened before in our public health system. There's really a recognition of the value of local public health, and the amount of funding that has been allocated to push towards modernization efforts and to push towards really building infrastructure so that we have the capacity to respond to future events as needed is really something that is unique in the public health field. For many, many years, these systems were significantly underfunded, and I think that's why they had a long way to go and grow early on in the pandemic. But I think we've seen the value that local public health brings, and it's really great to see these kinds of funding allocations coming in to our department. So I don't know if there's anything specific that maybe I can help answer any questions you might have about the funding.
Madam Chair, I just have two items that are kind of related. These items that are being set aside for sort of future transformation of our public health system, and then this LPHA Leadership Governance Program implementation, are there are there restrictions on how we can use that money? Is it sort of like, can we work with Katrina and really just sort of say, hey, let's go make this the best public health system in the state? Or is it sort of like the state is saying, you must spend the money this way, you just don't have to spend it yet?
They're pretty flexible. So I think as we get to the point of where we can really devote our resources, I think that is our plan, is to come back to the board, who serves as our local public health authority, to really talk about our priorities. Obviously, we have some analysis that we've done in the CHIP and some other resources that we would take under consideration. But I think these funds are really aimed at, what are the local needs and where do we want to direct these funds, which is why we're trying as hard as we can to preserve them. Yeah. Even modernization funds, we've been told that they can go towards COVID-19. Again, we're hoping to limit the need for that, because we want to keep the funding for our COVID-19 operations specific to those funds that, that's all it could fund. And the ones where we have flexibility, we really want to maintain those as much as possible to be able to, direct them in a direction that we feel like is best for our team, for our department, for Marion County as a whole.
Fabulous. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Commissioner Cameron, any questions?
Nope. I'm ready to make a motion, Madam Chair?
Yes.
Okay. Consider approval of amendment number 2 to the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority to add $10,866,279.32 for a contract of total of $14,122,893.32 for the operation of public health services through June 30th, 2023.
I second the motion.
Great. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Ryan. And before we move on to the last action item, if it's okay with you, I'd like unanimous consent to return to public comment.
Without objection.
Great. So, Mr. Is it Snedegrev? If you would join us over here at this table, and then you'll want to say your name and address of residence for the record, please, into the microphone.
I will. Oops, excuse me. My name is Vasily Snegrev, Russian. And I'll talk about COVID-19. Why we wear a mask? That's a big question. Why Joe Biden and Boris Johnson wear us masks? We're tired of it. We have to take them off. We don't want to wear no more. There's so many rats against Donald Trump. There are so many rats. I have to celebrate. To get rid of them, I have to ask High Spirit to be beaten. Evil Spirit, Jesus Christ. I had to celebrate so much. Because it's so much money. It's time. Everybody should know. He cleared the world. He cleared the air. Moving forward. Sounds better together. I hopefully world understands. We have to defeat Jesus Christ. Religion is over and so, like never before. They're praying to kill us. I had to celebrate. My mother died. My sister died. They died because of what they call diabetic is evil. We have to stop it, America. First, Donald Trump. Why they win? How they win? Not voting. They will in spirit, January 6th. I know everything because I celebrate. How are we going to find out with the world to know? So I celebrate with Donald Trump. So made G5. That's what the world knows, everything now. And now we're wearing the mask. And they're kidding. Democracy, 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 democracy. What the hell is democracy? Rats. They got, after over 20 of them, they sent to my kitchen, rats. Then, 2 weeks, they shed everywhere, run everywhere, rats. Why is that? Oh, I know, they want to be the Donald Trump. Not this time, not anymore. They did, defeat a little bit, but not by much. America knows now. And then, the last time they inaugurated, then the rat came, once again, I came from work, and the rat can crawl into my kitchen again. Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Then see what he's gonna do. He walked away. I didn't touch him. That's gonna happen. Joe Biden walks away. Moving forward, better together. America first. America number one. It will be. The whole world now should know. America is the greatest of them all. We help one another. Better together.
Thank you.
Russia and everything will be gonna help. What it means. Okay. Okay, I see again. Jewish, somebody, synagogue. They had the passageway like snakes, moving away. Because the gunman, he asked, well, whatever happened. And they killed the gunman because the Jewish, but the snake, they asking our help, officers, our warriors, police officers. We fund them, not defund them. They defund them, and then asking again, come on, officers, help us. You snakes, not anymore. This time is over. We fund police themselves. We did fund our warriors. In our warriors, Joe Biden no longer president. Donald Trump is president. So they cheated, not by voting, but evil spirit. January 6th, they will do Borisans. He sent evil spirits to defeat, to riot. January 6th. That's what happened. The truth. The whole truth. New spirit. That's what happened. That's what Joe Biden president. But no longer. He has to be. Vacation. Move away from White House. You have to remove the snake from White House, from ambulances. The snake has to, the God bless for less, no more. The America first, the greatest. No more taxes, no more debt ceiling. Moving forward, smoothly. Mother Nature will be on our side, not on their side anymore. Flooding, hurricanes, it has to go away. We're the America. We'll get that truth. Moving forward, better together.
Thank you for coming today
Okay. You're
and
welcome.
sharing. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay. And now we'll move back into our final action item for today's board session. Under Public Works, we're going to consider approval of the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Military Department, Office of Emergency Management in the amount of $207,470 for the Emergency Management Performance Grant retroactive July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. Good morning, Kathleen.
Good morning, Commissioners, and good morning, Jen. I'm so happy that I was here today because I concur that your leadership and support for this county, I'm so grateful for, and I'm grateful for you. So I'm glad that we had an opportunity to recognize her today, and I was here for it.
Good. So for the record, just introduce yourself and title for the public.
Yes.
Thank you.
My name is Kathleen Silva. I'm Marion County's Emergency Manager. And I'm here to ask and seek your consideration for approval for the incoming funds of the Intergovernmental Agreement with Oregon Military Department, Office of Emergency Management, in the amount of $207,470 for the Emergency Management Performance Grant that is going to be retroactive to July 1st of 2021 through June 30 of 2022. And this funding source for my program is to support our personnel and our materials and supplies, and also for administrative services. I would like the board to know that this amount is higher than it has been in the years past, and that is due to Oregon Emergency Management not using their portion of the funds for this last year, and so they have rolled that into the county's allocation. They were not able to use it for projects and for payroll that they had. So the counties were allotted more funds than in previous years, and generally we get about $158,000 to $160,000. So this is a tremendous amount that's going to help my program, and I am here to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you. Any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Mr. Cameron? All right, then I'll take a motion.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Military Department Office of Emergency Management in the amount of $207,470 for the Emergency Management Performance Grant, retroactive from July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Kathleen,
Thank
for all
you.
you're doing.
And Happy New Year.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah.
Why they didn't send us to Putin? They say Russia. Yeah, interfere, like in downtown. Why they send to me? I'm poor, I'm broke. And I have to celebrate, get rid of those rats. 4 years. And then, the 5th year, when inaugurated January 6th. Then, they got my tooth again. So bad they couldn't. I didn't have money to, but I have to pay for, because I didn't have insurance. I have to pay my money, $1,300. I have to go to the doctor and then get rid of the venom from my tooth. They have to distract it. I'm broke.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the world right now.
Yeah, I need to be funded. I got $100,000 to pay for my property, and I don't have. I'm retired, getting Social Security. And I still have to fight them, because they don't want Donald Trump to be president. What the heck is that for?
Unfortunately, we really only have local control here. I think we all have a lot of our opinions of the presidential race that happened previously and maybe our own political views on things. I do appreciate you coming today and sharing.
We can do together.
If there's specific things that you think we can help you with, Brenda can provide you with our contact information and we can set up time to learn of those things, because we do want to make sure that you're safe and healthy and thriving in Marion County.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Want me to read this, Madam
Commissioner
Chair?
Willis, please read the calendar.
Okay. It is January 19th. It's Wednesday. It's 9 o'clock. Or it's not 9 o'clock. It's 10:05. We just completed our board session here in the Center Hearing Room. Directly after this meeting, we have a BOC-CAO meeting with an executive session if needed, pursuant to ORS 192.660 to A, B, D, E, F, H, I, located in the Commissioner's Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. That's 555 Court Street, Northeast in Salem. At 2:15 this afternoon, we have an executive session pursuant to ORS 190.6602D, located in the Commissioner's Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. Tomorrow is Thursday, January 20th at 7:30 in the morning. We have a Salem-Marion County meeting located at the Sassy Onion. That's at 1244 State Street here in Salem. And then, again, tomorrow, January 20th at 9 in the morning, we have a work session regarding Health and Human Services Addiction Treatment Program located in the Commissioner's Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. Tomorrow, January 20th, that's Thursday at 1:30 in the afternoon, we have a work session, and that's a Public Works Planning Division process located in the Commissioner's Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. Tuesday, January 25th at 9 in the morning, we have a Community Leader Roundtable with Congressman Kurt Schrader, and that's a virtual meeting. Tuesday, January 25th at 2 in the afternoon, we have a Service District ESSD meeting located in the Commissioner's Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. On Wednesday, January 26th at 9 in the morning, we have a board session located in the Center Hearing Room. That's this room, 555 Court Street, Northeast in Salem. On Wednesday, January 26th at noon, we have a Marion County Extension 4-H Service District meeting, and we're going to review our priorities and goals and the 2021 tax revenue located in the Commissioner's Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. And then on Wednesday, January 26th at 1:15, we have a BOC-CAO meeting with an executive session if needed pursuant to ORS 192.660 to A, B, D, E, F, H, and I located in the Commissioner's Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. And then on January 26th, that's Wednesday at 2:30 in the afternoon, we have a City of Jefferson treatment plant ribbon cutting ceremony and open house located at the City of Jefferson at their Public Works Building, 700 North 2nd Street in Jefferson.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there anything that you want to leave on the record for today?
No, it was a good presentation on our federal agenda. Really appreciate it. And those guys do really good work for us. So
Great.
hopefully we can get some more things coming our way.
Yeah, specifically, I want to see that 11 million for Santiam Canyon wildfire housing recovery come
And
through.
that Donald Aurora interchange, I mean,
Yep.
that, I know we need to move on that, so.
Well, that might happen because ODOT got so much more money. We're gonna submit testimony to, the Transportation Commission about that here next week,
Right,
or this week.
this week, tomorrow.
I think it was- I don't know, who's talking, am I or you?
I
You are.
am,
Commissioner
yeah.
Willis is going to.
Good.
Great, okay, well,
right.
hearing nothing else, meeting adjourned. Have a
Thank you,
great day,
Madam Chair.
everybody.